Where did I just put my phone? Where did I? No, I need it. How's all my notes? Guess I'm not doing a video. Guess that's it, guys. See you later. Bye. What the heck? If this does not motivate me to clean my car today, I don't know what will. Oh my goodness, where'd my phone go? Wow, that was the most aggravating few minutes of my entire life. I found my phone. It was, I don't know if you guys know, like I sit on a little cushion. It was under the cushion. How did that happen? It was just in my hand. Anyway. Hi, this is Katie. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a mental health update mixed with like a self-care talk. So yeah, if you're into those types of videos, please keep watching. So, oh, PS, make sure that you're subscribed. PS, you can't do a PS in the first 2 minutes of a video, can you? But I'm doing it anyway, breaking all the rules. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, you guys know. Just do all those things. Ring the bell, like this video, comment, do all the things that you want to do. So you guys know, if you've been watching my videos for a little while, that I have had mental health issues for almost half my life. And it's something that I like to talk about on here, not to get sympathy or complain, but to just share my experience with you, potentially encourage you guys or help you just by sharing my own story and my thoughts. And so that's why we're doing these videos, and that's why I'm doing this video. Also, another early PS, I have a full face of makeup on except for eye makeup because my eye, like, I woke up a bunch of middle of the night with my eyelid being itchy, and I didn't really think anything of it until I started to do my makeup and I saw that there was like a red splotch on it. I don't know if you can tell, but my eyeball doesn't hurt, but my eyelid is itchy. And so I asked Instagram to see if anyone like who knows medical stuff knew. And a couple people said it might be like eczema or something. Someone asked me if I tried a new product, maybe like an allergic reaction. But anyway, I didn't want to put makeup on my eyes just in case. So that's why this is my face today, just in case you're curious the reasoning why. Anyway, okay, so in all honesty, I have not been doing great. My mental health has just been, I mean, it's been hurting me since I was 19 and I'm 33. But as with a lot of you guys, if you suffer from any mental health issues, you know that sometimes you're just kind of okay, sometimes you're doing well, and sometimes you're doing really, really bad. And obviously there's a bunch of levels in between, and obviously it's also different for everyone. Someone like me, just being honest with you guys, I am low more than I am anything else. I would say this past year or so, I have been low to okay more than I've been in any other level. You know what I mean? It's just what's been happening. There have been some days and some weeks where I feel pretty fine, and there have been some times where I feel really, 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 really low. And you guys know too, I've talked about this and I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same, that sometimes it's situational. Sometimes something happens that stresses you out or makes you depressed. But also a lot of times, at least for me, it's not situational. So it's just kind of like, this is just what my brain is doing. It's like my brain is doing things that I don't really want it to, but it's doing them anyway, and I don't really have as much control as I wish I did, or as some people may think that you do, in terms of just immediately changing those negative thoughts or those negative feelings or that severe pain that you feel. And so yeah, the past month or two has been kind of a mix of situational and just my brain being sick. I've had like a few situational stressors. You guys know, I actually talked about that since I turned 33, I feel like so many things have happened, kind of like since the summer. Just feel like so many like moderately bad things have happened, and everything piling on has just made me not feel great. And then yeah, so the last mental health video I did was about a month ago, and just even since then, just more things have been piling on that I'm not sure I've shared with you, but regardless, more things have been piling on, and it's just been really hard for me. And so take yesterday, for example, this is where I wanted to get into the self-care talk, was because some of you guys asked me what I do to cope, or what I do to feel okay, or what I do to feel better. And honestly, not much, because there's not much that I have found that has helped me. And so yesterday I woke up in a very, very low mood. One of those moods where you feel so low that you almost don't even want to get out of it because you do not think that it's possible to. One of those lows that, like, it's almost like I feel like I'm drowning semi-often, but this is almost like I'm drowning 300 feet below sea level with like elephants sitting on me, while they are telling me how worthless and stupid I am, and while they are stabbing me in the chest and just not being very nice. And that's how my brain felt yesterday. And so a day like yesterday, I just stayed in bed all day. I was in and out of sleep. I didn't eat. I didn't shower. I didn't do anything. I stayed in bed, crying for a lot of it. I think I watched a little bit of YouTube or something, and then I fell back asleep, whatever. And then at like 5, I made myself get up to eat. And I just like put the TV on and watched Mindy Project the rest of the night while drinking some White Claw. That was my day. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt like I was in such a hopeless mood that my brain would not stop with the negative thoughts, with those like attacking negative thoughts. I'm sure a lot of people, even if you wouldn't say that you suffer from mental health issues, a lot of people just have negative thoughts. A lot of us do, whether it's low self-esteem or imposter syndrome or just I'm not sure, and just a little confusion of maybe I don't deserve this, I'm not good enough, things like that. I know a lot of people have those things. Or just even people, again, who would not say that they have mental health issues still have depression sometimes, or depressive episodes, or feel stressed, or feel anxious even. Like, a lot of people feel that way. And so a lot of people do have negative thoughts that are just kind of like in their head. But a lot of you guys know when you have mental health issues and when you have very severe mental health disabilities or diagnoses, that these negative thoughts are so strong that I can't think of a word for it. They are paralyzing. And I don't use that word lightly. They are paralyzing, and they make you feel like there's no reason to do anything. They force themselves on you so much that you can't not believe them. And you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, just like a psychological fact is that not all of our thoughts are true. It just wouldn't even make sense if all of our thoughts were true. Like, it's just not a thing. Like, all of our thoughts are not true. We can still acknowledge that we have them, but it does not mean that we have to believe them and then act on them, you know? And so something like imposter syndrome, for example, where it's like you feel like you don't deserve what you are working for, when in reality, you worked for it, so you do deserve the results. But a lot of people, myself included, have been like, well, why do I have this? Like, I think they picked the wrong person. Like, do they really know who I am? Like, that kind of stuff. And just because we have that thought does not mean that it's true. It just means that we have a thought. And so it's one of those things, again, you can acknowledge it and then just be like, okay, thank you, but I don't need you. I don't need to pay attention to you. I do not need to react to you or act upon you. But sometimes those thoughts, and you guys know that sometimes I smile when it's so overwhelming to think about, just because I do. Just like sometimes people laugh when they're uncomfortable. It's just like sometimes I just smile when I'm talking about this because it's overwhelming. Yesterday was just one of those days that the thoughts were so intrusive and so forceful that I couldn't even get the strength to tell myself that maybe they're not true. And that happens to me a lot, where the thoughts are just in my head and I'm like, well, this is just true. This is why people don't like me. This is why I'm single. This is why I'm gonna die alone. This is why nobody loves me. This is why nobody sticks around. This is why I don't really have a lot of friends. This is why I'm failing at this, you know, like all those types of hopeless, worthless thoughts. I have those a lot. I have them basically 24/7. I'm not exaggerating. I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I am good enough. All those things. I have those thoughts basically 24/7. But again, like I said before, they just kind of go up and down in severity. And so a lot of times, since I've had them for so long, a lot of times I can just not even necessarily tune them out, but they're not at the forefront. But a day like yesterday, all it was Katie, you're not good enough. Katie, you're worthless. Katie, you are a pointless human being. And the thoughts were so strong that not only did I feel like I couldn't get out of it, but I almost didn't even want to, because I just firmly believed it, you know? And so it's like, well, why would I change if this is just true? And it was a really, really, really hard day. And I reached out to some of my friends to talk to them. And one of the things I realized last night is, honestly, sometimes other people can't help. Sometimes you have to do it yourself, which sucks, but sometimes that's just true, because nobody knows you as well as you do. Sometimes, yes, talking to people and having them there can help, which is kind of what happened last night. I was talking to one of my friends, and after he listened to me just kind of tell him everything that was wrong, we just started like joking around and stuff, and that did help a little bit. It helped me go from a -10 to like a -7. You know, like I still wasn't doing well, but I could tell that those thoughts were not as strong as they were most of the day. So sometimes that can help, but also the reality of it is it might help in the moment, but to actually help, like I think that helping in the moment and actually helping for like helping make change in your actual life versus just change for that hour are completely different. And this is what I've talked about, like in terms of sometimes people say go for a walk if you're anxious or not feeling great, or sometimes I say, hey, what I do is I generally put TV on. That's not something that's going to fix you. Like going for a walk if you're anxious is not going to fix you, but it can help you in that moment. And sometimes that's all you can do, which I think is fine. I'm just trying to say that they're different. So something like going to therapy weekly and getting on medication or changing your job because it's drowning you, big drastic changes like that can help you in the long term, in the long run, you know? But something like watching TV because you're so anxious and you feel like you can't do anything else, or going to hang out with your friends or doing something distracting like that could help you in the moment. And sometimes that's all you can do, so that's okay too. And then maybe you can get to a level where that distraction has helped you enough that you can move on to something that could help you more long term. So last night, really all I felt like I could do was watch TV and sit around and cry. And I ate pizza rolls and french fries for dinner, and that's the only thing I ate all day, but I didn't even want to eat. Like I didn't want to do anything. I was in such a low, bad mood. And it was so low that you almost don't want to get out of it. And that whole like wallowing in your depression is a real thing. And it's not because like people are lazy or because all those negative thoughts are true. It just means that sometimes it gets that bad. And a lot of people haven't experienced that level of bad. And you know what? I'm really happy for you, because I would not wish what I went through yesterday on my worst enemy. Even the day before was really bad. Was it the day before? Yeah. I forced myself to get out of the house and like walk around Marshall's, but then I was just started crying in Marshall's. And so I left. And then yesterday was just worse. The thing about sometimes when you have good days, when you have mental illness, sometimes you don't get to choose those days. Like today where I feel like kind of okay now, I didn't choose this. It wasn't just like work harder and you'll be good, or work harder and all those negative thoughts will stop. A lot of times it's not. Sometimes again it is, especially if you're working long term on it and you're really like studying yourself and doing things that your therapist says and all that kind of stuff. Yes, then it can help you long term, and maybe you can catch yourself right before you go into an anxiety attack and you can work on that so it does not go as deep as it used to. But for me, someone like me, someone as mentally ill as I am, or who has similar mental illnesses as I do, I don't get to choose when I have good days. And again, a lot of people are gonna think that I'm weak, and a lot of people are gonna think that I'm exaggerating or that I'm lying. I'm not. And I know that I'm not. And I know that some of you guys know that I'm not, because I know some of you guys feel the exact same way. That some days you'll just wake up and feel fine. And I'm not saying you'll feel great. Some days you'll just wake up and feel fine. Some days you will wake up and feel great. But today it was just, I woke up and I felt fine, and I'm like, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna wash my hair, and I, was gonna put makeup on, but then I think I have eczema on my eye or something, so I didn't do my eye makeup, but I did the rest. And I, didn't want to be in bed all day. I didn't want to do that. But today wasn't a day that was as hard as yesterday. Like yesterday, I felt like I didn't have the choice to get out of bed. And again, we always have choices, absolutely, but not with 100% of things. Like I didn't get to choose how tall I was. I didn't get to choose what eye color I was born with or that I have naturally. There are certain things that we did not get to choose. But sometimes we do get to choose how we react to them. But again, even that, it's so difficult sometimes that it feels impossible. So the thing is, at least in my perception, is to work on it when you're feeling okay. So that potentially the next time it happens, maybe it could be a little bit less. Or maybe you set up some mantras, or you have a friend who said that they would help you, or you found a few things that bring you joy that you have set up, whether it's like painting or going to the gym or anything that even brings you immediate joy. Watching a silly video or something, that might snap you out of it. Maybe you can set those up, but also those still might not work. But they might, and there might be a day where you're like, I'm sobbing, but I'm still gonna turn this video on. Whether it works or not, you still took a step towards doing something for yourself, and that's incredible. But also, I hope that we can give ourselves grace, because sometimes we can't even turn on a video. Sometimes we can't even do that, And it's about giving yourself grace, and sometimes it's good to be hard on yourself, and sometimes it's good to give yourself grace, but only you will know the difference for yourself. Hey guys, I'm currently editing my video, and I know that I mentioned right in the beginning of the video that I was going to be talking about self-care as well as my mental health update, but I actually decided to make that into a completely separate video. I already recorded all the content and everything, but the video, if I include the self-care talk in this video, the video will be like a half-hour long, which I know is fine, and I've posted half-hour long videos before, but the self-care part is so important, and I really think it could be beneficial and helpful for you guys that I wanna make it a separate video A, because it's an important topic, but B, because sometimes if a video is really long, some people only watch the beginning. And so I don't want people to miss out on this important topic because it's at the end of the video. I hope that makes sense. And so I hope that you guys were okay with just a mental health update for today's video, just kind of explaining that like today I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling more like my normal self, which honestly, and I know that sometimes I sound like I'm exaggerating, but I really hope that you guys know that I'm not. My normal that I've been feeling lately is maybe like a 2.5 out of 10. Yesterday, I was at a negative 4,000. Yesterday was really, really bad. And again, part of it was situational. There were certain things going on that added to my stress or just added to me being confused about my life and my choices and things like that. But most of it was because of my mental health. You know what I mean? Because of things that I can't control. Like if those stressors and confusing things that are just happening in my life, if those happened and my mental health was perfectly fine, I probably would have been able to deal with them. But since they were on top of me already feeling low and already having a low time, you guys know since like my 33rd birthday, honestly over the summer, you guys know a lot of things have been happening. And so since just extra things were piling on, it just made me feel bad. It made me feel bad. It got me to a point yesterday where it was just unbearable pain, and I didn't think I would get out of it. And just in terms of coping, or a very, very quick self-care talk, sometimes self-care means giving yourself grace to relax. I don't really relax, but to not do things. But sometimes self-care is pushing yourself to do things. It depends on the person, it depends on the situation. And I get into more of that in the self-care talk. I'm gonna post that video on Friday, so it's just in a couple days. I hope that it's okay that I'm making that a separate video. I just think it's so important that I want people to be able to see it because I think it could be helpful. So yesterday, what helped me? Nothing. I had to wait it out because sometimes, and a lot of you guys know, if you suffer from mental illness, and even if you don't have any mental illnesses, but you're just a human who's been through any sort of trauma or a breakup, or someone in your family passed away, you lost your job, anything like that, you know that sometimes you can't really do anything. There are certain things, again, we get into that in the self-care talk, and it's just obvious, there are certain things. Go hang out with your friends. Make sure that you're still kind of taking care of yourself. You know, there are still certain things, but time is, terrifying, but time is one of the only things that actually helps in certain situations. Like a breakup, you know what I mean? It's so easy to logically be like, well, they cheated on me and blah, 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 so I should just be over them, like if that's your situation, you know? But since logic cannot negate emotion, your emotions are gonna be like, no, but I loved them, we were dating for 2 years and I thought we were gonna get married and all these things, those emotions are still gonna stay. And sometimes the logical thoughts of, but they were wrong for me, blah, 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 sometimes those can help. But a lot of you guys know one of the things that helps the most is time. Time and working on yourself and focusing on yourself. Focusing on yourself in a way that is still helpful for the greater good is always my ideal. But sometimes there's things that we can only focus on ourselves because we feel like we're drowning so much that we need to do something to keep ourselves afloat. Otherwise, we're gonna keep drowning, and then otherwise we're not gonna be able to help other people. We're not gonna be able to do the things in life that God wants us to do. And so sometimes it's just time. And so when I'm feeling that low, like I was yesterday, there are very few things that I can do that actually help. It's more just I have to give myself time. And so I just watched TV and ate pizza rolls, and that was okay for me. Again, it's kind of giving yourself grace sometimes. But if you're like that all the time, then I just hope that any day that you feel a little bit okay, like a day like today where I'm feeling just a little bit better than yesterday. Honestly, I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday. I'm still not feeling good, but I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday was that bad that even today where I'm feeling a little iffy, like I might cry later, like, you know, it's still a lot better than yesterday. On these days, this is the time when I think that we should be planning and taking action in hopes that the next time that happens, because yesterday, how I felt yesterday, that's probably gonna happen again, probably. But if we work on it when we're feeling kind of okay, if we sign up for therapy or start a medication or start a journal, or if we know that we love like painting, or if we love sports or something, buy a sports package on your TV or get a lot of paint supplies so you just have them. So maybe next time you're feeling like that, you might have a tiny little spark of energy that you might be able to be like, okay, I can go watch a soccer game, or I can just go finger paint, you know, or have some of your favorite snacks in the house, you know, like things like that. Maybe if you're feeling okay, you can plan for when you're not feeling okay. So anyway, I talk a lot more about self-care in Friday's video. I really hope that you guys subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you're notified of when that video comes out on Friday. And I hope that this video helped you in some way, because again, I don't make these videos for sympathy. I make them in hopes that we can feel connected and that you can really feel like you're not alone, and extra hope that something I say could potentially help you. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, Jesus loves you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. It's kind of weird sometimes to wave my left hand. Bye.